Hi and welcome to the sewing tutorial for the Chloe dress and top. My name is Jessica Silversaga and today I will be making View A, the sleeveless top. I will be using a lightweight linen blend from my shop. Stay stitch the neckline and armholes 8 mm from the edge. Stay stitching is a stitch sewn through a single layer of fabric using a regular stitch length. This step is important because it helps prevent distortion of curves during the sewing process. So I highly recommend that you don't skip this step. If you're sewing the sleeve version, also stay stitch between the side seams and the gathering notches. Cut a piece of lightweight fusible interfacing for the center front buttonholes. Apply the interfacing to the wrong side of the fabric. Mark out the placement for the center front buttonholes. Sew the buttonholes on the right side of the fabric. Cut them open carefully using a seam ripper or a small scissor. Place the front of the bodice right side together with the back. Pin the shoulder and side seams together. Sew the shoulder and side seams with a 1 cm seam allowance. Overlock the seam allowance and press toward the back. Join the bias strips for the neckline and fabric tie by placing 2 pieces right sides together at a 90-degree angle. If you're a beginner, it can help to draw the line with chalk or a fabric marker. Pin in place and sew a line from corner to corner. Repeat with all the pieces until you have one continuous strip. Trim the seam allowance down to 6 mm. Press one long edge on the bias facing up by 1 cm. Place the bias facing right sides together with the back bodice, starting about 5 cm after the center back notch. Leave a 10 cm tail free. This will be used to finish the loop later. Pin the bias facing to the neckline. Lay the remaining length of bias facing along the neckline and trim away any excess. Finger press a crease where the loose ends meet at the center back. Place the ends right sides together and pin through the crease. Sew along the crease. Trim any excess and press the seam allowance open. Pin the remaining section and sew in place using a 1 cm seam allowance. Trim the seam allowance and press the facing and seam allowance upward. Understitch the facing to the seam allowance by sewing 1 mm from the edge. Fold the pre-pressed bias facing over the seam allowance and pin the facing in place. Edge stitch 1 mm from the folded edge on the inside of the garment. Sew the armhole bias facing the same way as you did with the neckline and sew in place using a 1 cm seam allowance. Fold the hem up by 5 mm and press. Then fold it up again by 1 cm and press again. Stitch in place. Choose between finishing your fabric tie using a double folded bias tape or rouleau straps. Read more about these finishing methods in the instructions. Attach one side of the fabric tie to a small safety pin and thread the tie all the way through the neckline channel using the buttonholes. Adjust the gathers along the neckline. For the best result, concentrate the gathers at the center front and center back. The front shoulder straps should remain smooth and free of gathers so that they lie flat when worn. Thank you so much for watching this sewing tutorial. I hope that you found it helpful. Please like this video, hit subscribe and follow me on my Instagram at Silversaga Patterns if you want to see more tutorials from me in the future. Thank you so much for your support. It really means the world to me. I hope to see you soon again. Bye!